Greetings, Kindred Soul. So here are a few yoga poses and stretches to help you open up your hip joints. So sometimes people will get energy stuck in this area. So whether it be emotional, physical, just in general, that means you'll have tight hips, whether it's the inside of your hips, the outside, or the back area. So we're going to loosen that up. So one good way to loosen up the energy and help break it up is to just start dancing, just being able to move your hips around and loosen up the energy. So this is very vital because your hips are an extension of your root chakra, because your root chakra starts from the base of your feet and goes to your tailbone. And it's also your sacral chakra, which is important for your creativity. So you want to loosen up the area. So one way we'll start doing it is to just work on doing some circular motions with our hips for both counterclockwise and clockwise. And then we'll make some figure 8 movements. So just being able to move your hips in a nice infinity sign, being able to loosen up the energy, you can dance with it. So that's one way to loosen up and break up the energy if you have tight hips. Another way is to do a yoga squat. So you're going to stand with your feet a little bit more than hip width distance apart. Your toes are pointing out. Then you're gonna go into namaskar and then simply sit down. So you want to drop your hips down as much as you can, really just dropping your tailbone down to the floor and then extending through the crown of your head. So the goal is to keep your spine perfectly straight and to breathe. Before we go down to the floor, I want to show you a forward fold. So you'll stand with your feet together and then simply just bend down and touch your toes. So this will stretch the back area of your hips and your lower back. So you want to drop the crown of your head down. Your head shouldn't be sticking out this way. The crown of your head should be facing towards the floor, and really roll your body weight towards your toes. So, and to get deeper into your hip joints, what you'll do is you'll bend one knee, and this will really stretch out the other hip area. So then you can move your weight around your foot to really get deep into that hip, and then you'll switch to the other side. And just bending one knee, keeping the other leg straight to stretch out that hip. And then again, you can do some nice figure 8 movements, really loosen up your hips. So the next way we'll loosen up the hip area is to go into a lotus pose. So simply, you can either sit with your legs cross-legged like this in easy pose, or you can do a half lotus or a full lotus. So I'll do a half lotus, that's midway in between, putting my foot up. And then if you simply brace yourself with one hand and take the opposite hand and push your knee down, this is going to open up the inside of your hip flexor. So apply a little bit of pressure and this will open up the inside of your hip joint. Hold it there for as long as you can and breathe. And then the next thing you'll do to get the back area of your hips is to simply walk your hands forward. So you want to walk your hands forward as far as you can and lean all of your body weight forward while trying to keep your hips down to the floor. So you keep your hips down, and then that should give you a nice deep stretch down the backside of your hips. And then of course you want to switch, do the opposite side, inside and outside to open up your hips. So the next stretch we'll do, I'll put the name up here in a second when I remember it, but it's similar to lotus, but you're going to have your knee pointing forward, like so. Your foot will be pointing back with your toes, then you'll put the other leg on top, toes pointing back, and then simply stretch forward, and this will give you a nice deep stretch down the back of your hips. So more so it's going to be in the hip with the leg on top, but you'll definitely feel it in both of your hips. So walk your hands forward as far as you can and breathe. Slow deep inhale. slow, gentle exhale. And then walk your hands up very slowly, not like I'm doing in this video. Trying to get through all of these poses and then switch and do the opposite side. So try to get your knees as best as you can, cross, stacked on top of each other and in the center line of your body, and simply walk your hands forward as far as you can. Drop your head down. If you can, rest your forehead on your knee. This will additionally hit the middle of your forehead and your third eye and flesh out your pineal gland and your pituitary gland if you can get your head down to your knee. So, and again, stretching out both hips. And breathe. And then walk your hands up. So the next stretch we'll do is cradle to baby. So you're gonna take the bottom leg, try your best to align your heel with the center line of your groin. So pull your foot out here. Then your goal is to get the side of the opposite foot into the crease of your arm. So you're going to go there the best as you can, just do your best, and simply lift your leg up and then hold it like a baby and then rock it gently back and forth. So do your best to keep your spine perfectly straight as you rock your leg back and forth and get a nice deep stretch on this side of the hip. And then of course, switch your legs and do the opposite side. So again, into the crease of your arm and hold it up and then rock it like a beautiful little baby. So the next pose, you're going to lay down on your mat. Feet hip width distance apart. Lift one leg, cross it over your knee. Hope you can see it like that. And then what you'll simply do, similar to cradling the baby, but you're going to lift this leg up as far as you can and then bring your leg forward. So if you want to, you can take the same hand and knee, push your knee back. That's gonna give you a nice deep stretch. So you can either use your hand or use your elbow, push that knee back. And if you want to, you can take your fingers, interlock them behind this knee and simply pull it back towards your face. So again, getting a nice deep stretch down this hip and breathe. And then you're gonna switch and do the opposite side. So cross your legs, lift your leg up as far as you can. Push the knee back with your hand. If you want to go deeper, use your elbow. Interlock your fingers and pull your hip forward. And then down and breathe. And then the last stretch we're going to do is pigeon pose. So come back to your mat. This time you're going to flip facing the mat. Take one knee. For the first part of pigeon pose, we'll do the easy version. You just stretch your knee forward and take the other leg and stretch it back straight. So your heel should be in the center line of your groin. Then simply lay down for as long as you can, stretching forward. So you're gonna lay down as far as you can. Try to hold it for 2 minutes and just breathe. And you should feel a nice deep stretch down the back line of your hip. And then to get the front side of the opposite hip, we're actually gonna walk our hands up and simply push ourselves up. Trying to get the spine straight as best as we can. And that'll give you a nice deep stretch down the opposite hip. And of course, switch your legs. Other knee forward, heel, center line of your groin. Stretch this leg back straight. Lie down. Just rest and breathe. And walk your hands up and stretch the front line of this hip. that is it for today. If you have any other areas of your body that you would like to work on, just mention it in the comments. And if you have any questions, just ask them down below and then I'll make another video. Oh, and if you would like your own Bougie Bohemian shirt, links in my bio. Or mat. Anything. See you soon. I love you, Kindred Soul.